here we have a lowering link for the rear suspension. It's AELLA. Got it from Bellis Moto. Here's the stock links that came out. The kit comes with new bolts. You reuse the old nuts though. Definitely looks a lot better and thicker than the stock ones. So it's installed new lowering links on the rear suspension. To do that, it's quite tricky and quite painful. It takes a while, so you gotta remove the exhaust. You got mounting bolts here, here, and here. You gotta loosen this, slide it off. On both sides, you gotta remove. Once you do that, you gotta push the exhaust down in the rear to clear up, to make some clearance. As you can see, you don't have much clearance in there to get to the bottom. Bolt on the lowering link, so you gotta remove the exhaust to do it. If it's your first time removing the stock exhaust, it's quite painful. It's difficult. I was able to do it just by lowering the rear half, and I didn't disconnect the whole exhaust, just pushed it down far enough where I could get the bottom lowering link nut and bolt out. On the other side, you have a similar setup. You gotta loosen this bolt, loosen these two, pull off this, and you have a mounting bracket for the exhaust over here, and then you can lower the exhaust. So when you lower the exhaust, and as you can see from the tools I have around here, I got pry bars and hammers, and you gotta have some kind of a jack to push the bike up to relieve the pressure off the swing arm when you're taking out the old lowerings brackets or the old rear linkage. But putting it back together, pretty easy. The hardest part is just getting this exhaust release from the stock header. But once you do that, getting it back in is a bit tricky too. I had to use the jack, a pry bar, and kind of push and wiggle and kind of push the header back a little bit to get it to line back up. You'll see on a lot of forums it says it's next to impossible to do it without removing the header, but I did it without removing the header. I wish I would have had my video going to show y'all, but it was a late night and it was a difficult process. But it lowered it. Once I get it down back together, I'll show that too, how low the rear is. I probably got to tighten up the suspension in the rear a little bit. I mean, you can see the gap here is not very much anymore. But that's pretty much it.